You're going to use our playlist. Go ahead and start it now. And we'll meet lying down on our backs with our knees bent. So as you come to lie down, widen the knees a bit, or widen the feet a bit wider than your knees. And then you can stay either in this bridge prep shape, or you can let the knees fall into a fall bridge and ease into the low back. And then notice where the hands fall automatically. So mine happen to fall on my belly or at least by your side. And I'll let them rest wherever feels right for you. And then if this class is stop number 3 or 4 on your morning routine, feel free to close your eyes. Otherwise, if you're really starting your day on your mat, I encourage you to keep your eyes open. Maybe just explore your space. You don't usually get to see it from this perspective, so find something new. Maybe a different corner or crevice of the room that you haven't noticed before. And come into stillness with awareness of your surroundings. And if your eyes are closed, of awareness of your internal state. Notice how the breath is moving through the body. Maybe rising and falling beneath your hands or pressing your low back closer to the mat. Notice the depth and the temperature of your breath. Maybe take a quick body scan from bottom to top. Notice any areas of comfort or fatigue, or tightness, or starting to tune in with the frequency of where you're starting out. We'll start to bring more awareness to the breath. So start out an exhale, press the air out of the body. And if it helps to feel the breath, moving your hands to the torso. Inhale through the nose, let it inflate your chest and collarbones. Open mouth, exhale, press the air out. Feel the low back move closer to the floor. Inhale through the nose, let it fill the ribs, chest, and throat. Press the air out through the mouth, exhale. Next, inhale here, let it fill the low belly, low back, ribs, and chest. Exhale all the way out. And take a few more rounds of this 3-part breath, connecting to each part of your torso. Maybe feeling the shoulders slightly rise as you inhale and fall towards your feet as you exhale. About one more round here. Good. And then we'll slowly bring the hands down by our sides. Extend the feet all the way out. We'll take a full body stretch here. Getting nice and long, flex at the wrists, flex at the feet, maybe roll out ankles and wrists. Nice, good morning stretch. Wiggle fingers. You're going to cross the right ankle over the left and then grab onto the right wrist with the left fingertip. So this will lengthen out the whole right side of the body. If you want, you can walk the feet over to the bottom left corner of the mat and reach the hands over the top left corner of the mat and just lengthen out this right side body here. Making a crescent moon shape here. Breathing a bit bigger into your right side ribs, the outside of the right shoulder. Good. Inhale back through center. Come back to that full body stretch. We'll cross the left ankle over right and grab onto the left wrist with the right fingertip. So switch over to the right corner and hands off the top left corner. Breathe a bit bigger into your left side ribs. Open up the side body. Good. Inhale, come back through center. And we'll draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug here. Let the back of the head and shoulders stay grounded. Just rock from side to side here, massage out the lower back. Good. Let's come to a reverse tabletop in the legs. So 90 degrees at the hips, knees, and ankles. Press the palms right into the tops of the thighs. And feel the low belly engage, maybe reaching the low back towards the floor. Try to wedge your fingertips underneath your low back. You shouldn't be able to go all the way through. Good. And with that engagement, reach the hands up, flex up the wrist. So if you were flipped over, you'd be in a tabletop. Take an inhale here, plug the shoulders and the hips down to the floor. Exhale, just extend the right leg forward. Hover the heel a couple inches off the floor. Notice what this feels like. Notice if you're holding breath. Good. Inhale back to center, reverse tabletop. Exhale, extend the left heel forward, reach the low back down, hover the left heel, flex the left foot. Good. Inhale back through center. We'll go one breath, one movement. Extend the right leg forward, inhale. Exhale to draw it back in. Inhale, left leg forward. Exhale, draw it back in. Good. We'll add the arm. So inhale, right leg, left arm, working on our rights and lefts nice and early. Exhale, everything to center. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, draw it back in. Good. Twice more. Take it at your own pace. You can always just come back to the legs, warming up the core, all sides of the torso, rather than thinking of the core as a cylinder that wraps a whole. Let it wake that all up with warmth. And once you finish both sides, draw the knees back into the chest, rock from side to side. Good. And then we'll grab behind the knees, bring those rock and rolls along the spine. Maybe take a couple extra rocks and rolls. And then we'll come to sit up nice and tall. Feel your sit bones ground, or here's a good place to support the seat with a pillow or a prop if the hips don't naturally come a little bit higher than the knees. Let the palms ground on the thighs. Take a couple shoulder shrugs back and down. Inhale, exhale, lower. And with the shoulders back and down, check in with the front. Notice they're flaring open. Try to close them like the teeth of a zipper so the core stays engaged, protecting the back. Inhale, snuggle up through the sides of the waist, lengthen a little taller through the crown of the head. Exhale, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Notice what this does on the side of the neck. You can add the right fingertips for a little more tension on the side of the neck. Breathing into this left side. Try to pull that left shoulder back and away from the left ear. Maybe the stretch moves all the way down your arm. Good. And back through center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. You can add the left fingertips for tension on the right side of the neck and pursue that right shoulder back and down. Good. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, back over to the right. We'll add the left and right fingertips this time, and the right fingertips onto the head of the right shoulder. The left fingertips rather. So we're spreading this whole left side of the neck. Right fingertips towards the left temple, left fingertips to the left shoulder. Spread that space on the side of the neck. Getting a bit deeper here. And release and tall. Exhale, draw the left ear to the left shoulder. Left fingertips up towards the right temple. Right fingertips to the head of the right shoulder. And a bit more length. Notice where the breath goes. Notice if you're holding on to it. Good. Inhale, come up through neutral. Once more to each side. Exhale, drop the right ear to the right shoulder, then angle the chin down. So this should move the stretch more towards the back line of the neck. If you want to get a little more sensation, bring the right hand more towards the back of the head, guiding the chin closer towards the right shoulder. And then you can add the left fingertips back to the left shoulder, spreading out more of that space on the back of the neck. Guide the breath in that direction. Inhale to sit up tall through neutral. Exhale the other way, left ear to left shoulder, then angle the chin down, moving the stretch towards the back of the neck. If you want to add on, left fingertips more towards the back of the head and right fingertips to the right shoulder. And just like these early in the morning also tell you if you slept funny, because one side will usually feel a little tighter than the other. All right, inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale to plant the hands in front of us, rolling over the knees or sitting the hips to one side. Go into tabletop and draw the big toes to touch knees wide. Send the hips back towards the heels. Crawl the fingertips forward or support the forehead with your forearms or your fists. So let the forehead ground on something. Melting the whole body over the thighs here. Knowing that this shape is always available to you at any point in class. It's a great place to ground down. And while we're here, let's bring our mind to an intention. If there's something or someone you want to dedicate your practice to, bring that to mind. And if not, I will invite the intuition, staying in the frequency of what your body needs, tuning in with what's on your mat today, and trying not to adjust for what's not there. You can inhale, seal in your intention. Big exhale, press out any expectation. Inhale to crawl back up to a tabletop. Stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Spread the fingertips wide and spin the inside creases of the elbows forward. Externally rotate. Really press through palms and the fingertips, dome up the upper back. And one more line from the crown of your head to your tailbone. We'll find some cat and cow. Inhale, cow pose. Drop the belly down, reach the head and hips up and pause here. Drag the wrist creases back towards your knees without actually moving them to open up your chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, cat pose. Press through the palms and fingertips. Open up the upper back. Squeeze out the belly button. Cycle through your breath. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Add on any variations that feel right. Maybe coming up onto fists or circling out the head and hips. Even out anything you may have taken on one side. And then we'll meet back in a neutral tabletop. Good. From tabletop, let's press through the left palm. Inhale, reach the right fingertips tall. And then we'll draw the right fingertips behind the right ear. From here, drag the right elbow a little further back as if you're tracing a line on the ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, tap the right elbow to the left wrist, gazing out to the left, opening up the mid back here. Inhale, with that right elbow. Exhale, close it off. Once more, inhale, open up. Exhale, close it off. Good. This time, open up, extend the fingertips all the way up. Exhale, thread the needle. Right wrist behind the left, right ear and right shoulder, ground all the way down. Left palm can stay by the nose. You can reach the fingertips up towards the top right corner of the mat, or you can wrap around your low back to your back right pocket. Whichever variation you take, press into the outside of your right arm, really digging into the floor to open up the chest, get that rotation through the mid back. Notice where the breath goes. And really use your breath as a tool in these shapes. If the breath starts to become sticky, that's an indicator to ease out of it slightly. Good. Make your way out of it. Plant the left palm by the nose. Press through the hand. Reach the right fingertips tall. And take strolls on this right side on the way down. You take a cat and cow. Reset the spine. Sink back up with the breath. And we'll find the second side. Plant through the right palm. Inhale, reach the left fingertips tall, and then jog the left fingertips right behind your left ear. Paint the ceiling with your left elbow. Open up the chest a bit more. Exhale, left elbow to right wrist. Trying to keep the sacrum parallel to the floor, just moving through the mid-back. Inhale, open up. Exhale, close it off. When we're inhale, open. Exhale, close. So this time, open all the way up, reach your left fingertips tall. Exhale, thread the needle. Left wrist behind the right, left ear and left shoulder ground. Right fingertips can stay by the nose. They can reach up and over towards the top left or wrap around to the left back pocket. Try a variation, press into the outside of the left arm. Guide the chest open to the right. And use the breath as a guide here, as an indicator. Good, let's close it off. Draw the right palm down by the nose. Inhale, open up the chest. And take wrist rolls on the way down. From our tabletop, take a cat and cow, reset the spine. And then we'll walk the hands about a handprint width forward. Tuck the toes under and sit the hips up and back to your first downward dog. Take it for a walk here, pedal up the heels, shake the head no and yes. You come up high to the toes and sink back towards the heels. Let it be full of movement. And from our down dog, find stillness. As if a wave are moving through your spine, ripple forward to a high plank. So keep the chin tucked to the chest until you get all the way to that high plank shape. And from your high plank, bend the knees, press the chest back towards the thighs, tip the tail up and back, downward facing dog. Twice more, inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, bend the knees, press it back, down dog. It's okay if there's still a slight bend in the knees. Once more, inhale, ripple forward, warming up the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. We'll clean up the shape a bit in this down dog. Gaze forward at the hands. Spread the fingertips wide. Press firmly through the forefinger and thumb, almost suction, cupping the mat with your hands. And spin the inside creases of the elbows forward, feeling the shape of the shoulder blade side away from the spine or upper back. Try a slight bend, wiggle the tail a bit higher. And as you exhale, press the chest back towards the side. The face, heels are floating, always focus on a long spine. Someday the shape will feel restorative. It's okay if that day is not today. On an inhale, gaze forward at the hands. Exhale, tip to your between hands to top and just fold. We'll find a ragdoll pose, widen the feet wider than the hips, grab for opposite elbows, and generously bend the knees, let the torso rest on the thighs. Come back to the breath, maybe check in with your inner state, notice changes in temperature, the pace of your thoughts. And then we'll melt the fingertips down towards the floor, heel toe your feet back to hips width distance. And lift your toes up, spread them out as best you can, and try to step them down, pinky toe to big toe, really gripping the floor with your feet. Slight bend in the knees, tuck the chin to your chest, and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Let the head come up last, stacking bone by bone. Once you land at the top, find a couple shoulder rolls. We'll meet in mountain pose, Tadasana, fingertips spread wide, down through all your corners of your feet into the floor. Slight bend in the knees to press the tailbone down, hips forward. Lift through the chest and chin. Feel strong and rooted here. On an inhale, find tall mountain, reach the fingertips forward and up, biceps in your ears. As you inhale, lengthen through the sides of the waist, maybe wiggle from side to side. Exhale, find a baby back bend. Bend at the elbows, spin the pinkies in, maybe the palm face above you, and lift the chest and chin. Good. Inhale, back to tall mountain, frame the ears with the arms. forward, palms draw through heart center, hinge from the hip. Inhale, find a halfway lift, draw your fingers to your chin or your thighs and pause in this shape. Bring a micro bend to the knees so you're not locking out, and rock your weight more towards your toes so the heels stack right beneath the hip. Inhale, lengthen out the low back. Exhale, find a low lunge on the right. Slide the left toes back. And set up your shape here, right knee over right ankle, not coming past the toes. Give each hand and foot their own lane. Then ground the back knee and untuck the toes. Inhale, we'll rise up to those cactus arms. So pinky spin inward, nice long spine. And press into the top of the back left foot to get a little more length on the left quad. Notice if you're dumping into the low back, try to close off those front ribs, reach the crown of the head tall. Take an inhale. Exhale, lean a bit more into that right knee. Good. Inhale, we'll lengthen out the arms, reach the fingertips tall. Exhale to frame the front foot and pause here. Come back to your low lunge. So tuck the back toes, lift the back knee off the mat. Plant through the left palm. Inhale, low lunge twist, reach the right fingertips tall. Try to stack the shoulders here, planting down through the right big toe mound, hugging the right knee in. Take a breath in. Exhale, close it off, step the right toes back, and pause in your high plank. We'll ground the knees and untuck the toes here for a side plank. Inhale, press the mat away. Exhale, lower down with control, hug the elbows in towards your ribs. Inhale, baby cobra, float the chest and palms, drive the elbows back towards the hip point. Exhale, lower down all the way. Inhale, tabletop, back to all fours, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Big breath in here through the nose. Open up, exhale out. Inhale here, seal your lips. Exhale through the nose, find some texture and heat in the back of your throat. Inhale, gaze forward at the hands. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top. Second side here, inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the left, slide the right toes back. Set up your base, knee over ankle, give each hand and foot their own knee. Then we'll ground the back knee and untuck the toes. Inhale, rise up with those cactus arms. Making sure to press the hip points forward, reaching the tailbone down. Good, lengthen through the sides of the waist, draw the shoulders back and down. Take an inhale, reach the crown of the head tall. Exhale, lean a bit more into that front left knee, press into the top of the right foot, open up the right quad. Inhale, low crescent lunge, reach the fingertips tall. Exhale, frame the front foot and pause here, lifting the back knee, tucking the back toes. Ground through the right palm, inhale, open up the chest, low lunge twist. Left fingertips reach tall, stack the shoulders. Exhale, close it off, step the left toes back, coming to a high plank. Option to keep the knees lifted here. Inhale, press the mat away. Exhale, lower all the way down with control. Untuck the toes, palms plant right beneath the shoulders. Now cobra pose, slight bend in the elbows, lift the chest and chin. Exhale, lower all the way down. Tuck the toes under. Inhale, high plank or tabletop, reversing your push-up. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. 2 cycles of breath here, slow it down. Release some heat. Good, inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, reset the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse your swan dive, tee out the arms, root through the feet, reach the hands out, around and up to tall mountain. Exhale, baby back bend, open the chest, press the hips forward. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the right, slide the left toes back. Good, we'll keep the back knee lifted this time. Inhale, high crescent lunge with those cactus arms. Slight bend in the back knee gives the hips some room to stack underneath the shoulders. Just adding a little bit more height to the shape. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, find a bit of a back bend in the upper back, almost pointing the elbows more forward than the wrist. Good. Inhale, standing pyramid. Straighten out the front knee, palms meet overhead. Exhale, open up to a warrior two. The back heel feels down about 45 degrees. Right knee stacks over right ankle. Arms are reaching out to a T. Like the shoulders back and down. Take an inhale here. Exhale, this side angle, reach forward and then down. My fingertips travel up and over, palm faces down. Press into that bottom forearm, rotate the chest open to the ceiling. Inhale, we'll rise up, straight arms, straight legs, flip the front palm up. Exhale, tip up and back, reverse triangle, pressing down through the right big toe mound. Open up this whole right side body. Left fingertips can come to the back thigh or towards the sacrum to stabilize the low back. Good. Inhale, back up through your warrior two. Exhale, frame your front foot, come high on the back toes, back to low lunge. You might want to widen out your base. Plant through the left palm here. Inhale, open up the chest, low lunge twist. Exhale, close it off and step back to a high plank. Good. Final option for our back bend here. Inhale, press the mat away. Exhale, option to lower halfway for chaturanga, elbows into the ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Step to the tops of the feet. Shine the heart forward, straighten out the elbows. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips reach up and back. Check in with the body here. Big breath in, big breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top. Good. Second side here. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the left, slide the right toes back. Widen out the base, find your alignment. Back knee stays lifted here. Inhale, high crescent lunge with cactus arms, slight bend in the elbows, lift the chest, press the tailbone down. Take an inhale. Exhale, find a bit of an upper back bend. Reaching the elbows slightly more forward than the wrist, lift the chest and chin. Inhale, standing pyramid, straighten out the front knee, palms unite overhead. Magnetize the inner thighs towards the midline. Exhale, warrior two, open up your stance. Heel toe the left foot in line with the back inner arch. Left knee stacks over the front ankle. Shrug the shoulders back and down. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended side angle, right fingers up and over. One long line on this right side. Press through the bottom forearm, rotate the chest open. And rise up, straight arm, straight legs, flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse triangle, right hand to the back thigh or low back. Left palm high fives the wall behind you. Press down through the left big toe mound. Feel the inner arch lift. Breathe into the whole left side. Inhale, rise, warrior two. Exhale, frame your front foot. Come up high and back, toes widen out your base. Plant through the right palm. Inhale, low lunge twist. Left fingertips reach tall. Hug the left knee in. Exhale, close it off. Step back the left toes and take your road to down dog. Tune in with your intuition. What do you need here? Maybe you go straight back from high plank. Maybe you take a couple breaths in child's pose or choosing your favorite back bend. Wherever you are, find 2 more breaths. Tune back in with the frequency of your breathed body. We'll inhale to gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top. When you take that whole flow, 1 breath to 1 movement. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root down to rise up, tall mountain, tee out the arms. Exhale, baby back bend, press the hips forward, open the chest. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the right, slide the left toes back. Widen out your base. Inhale, high crescent lunge with cactus arms. Exhale, forward, that slight back bend. Open the chest. Inhale, standing pyramid, straighten the front knee, palms meet overhead. Exhale, swim down to warrior two. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended side angle, move with the breath. Inhale, rise up, straight arms, straight legs, flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse triangle. Inhale, rise up, warrior two. Exhale, frame the front foot, widen out the base. Inhale, low lunge twist, reach the right fingertips tall. Exhale, frame the front foot, step it back. Take downward dog. One round of breath here, big breath in, making a P sound with the lips. Exhale, release some heat. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the left, slide the right toes back. Inhale, lunge with cactus arms. Exhale, bit of an upper back bend. Inhale, standing pyramid, straighten the front knee, palms meet overhead. Exhale, warrior two, open up the stance. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, rise up, straight arms, straight legs, flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse triangle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, frame the front foot, widen out your base. Inhale, low lunge twist, reach the left fingertips tall. Exhale, close it off, step it back and take your flow. Inhale for your back bend and exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, travel to top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, tall mountain. Let the palms meet overhead. And exhale, draw the thumbs down to heart center. Soften or close the eyes. Feel the base of the thumbs press against the heartbeat. Let the heartbeat dance against the base of the thumbs. And take a moment here to check in. How does syncing breath with movement change our internal state? Making a little bit more room for us to sync up with our intuition. Let the heat move between the palms. Finding stillness here. Good. We'll flutter the eyes open, draw the palms down by our sides. We'll take that flow once more, adding a little bit more on. Inhale, find tall mountain. Exhale, baby back bend, open the chest. Inhale, back to tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lunge on the right, slide the left toes back. Good. Inhale, high crescent lunge. This time, reach the fingertips all the way up. Exhale, find crescent lunge with airplane arms. Hinge the chest forward, reach the fingertips back. Good. Pause here. Magnetize the pinkies towards one another. Get a little bit more length across the chest. Good. Inhale, ride the inhale all the way open to a warrior two. So the arms cartwheel all the way open. Good. And settle in here. Let this shape feel familiar. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended side angle, left fingertips reach up and over. Inhale, rise up, straight arms, straight legs, flip the right palm up. Exhale, reverse triangle, we've been here before. Good, adding on once again, rise up, straight arms, straight legs. Maybe shorten your stance, slightly setting up for a triangle. Reach the right fingertips forward. Exhale, triangle pose. Right fingertips meet the shin. Maybe the top of the right foot or a prop on the outside of the right foot, encouraging the chest open. You can get a bit of a self-adjustment here, bringing the left fingertips down to the left ribs, spiraling the torso open to the left. Good. Find a few solid rounds of breath here. Micro bend the front knee. Imagine you're sandwiched between two panes of glass. Good. We'll rebend the right knee. Inhale, rise up for a shortened warrior two. Exhale, we'll frame the front foot. Plant through the left arm, wrist back to a side plank open to the right. So a couple options here. You can roll onto the outer edge of the back foot, stacking the feet. You can stagger the feet, the right foot in front of the left, or you can kickstand with the right foot bent, the right knee bent in front of the body. Wherever you go, press the hips up towards the ceiling, root down through the left finger. Take it out here. Exhale, close it off the half plank and take your road to down dog. Come 2 rounds of breath here. Good. Inhale to gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, travel to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the left, slide the right toes back. Widen out your base. Inhale, high crescent lunge, reaching the fingertips all the way up. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms, hinge the chest forward, reach the fingertips back. Draw the pinkies towards one another, broaden across the chest. Good. Ride the inhale up and open to warrior two. Feel the back heel up your base. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, rise up, straight arms, straight legs, up the front palm. Exhale, reverse triangle. Inhale, keep the straight arms, straight legs, rise up, shorten the stance for triangle pose. Exhale, reach forward and then down. Micro bend the front knee, tap the left shin, maybe the top of the left foot, or a prop on the outside of the left leg. You can bring that self-adjustment, right hand to the right ribs, open up the torso. Find a few good rounds of breath here. Letting the gaze fall wherever is comfortable. Good. We'll rebend the left knee. Inhale, rise up for that shortened warrior two. Exhale to frame the front foot, setting up for that side plank here. So lots of options. You can roll the outer edge of the right foot, stepping the left toes back. You can stagger the feet or find a kickstand with the left knee bent. Wherever you go, press firmly through the right fingertips and palm. Feel left shoulder back to stack. Take another breath. Close it off and find your road to down dog. Big breath in here. Exhale, big breath out. Take a breath in, ground the knees. Tuck the toes, sit back to a child's pose. Knees can be together or apart. Here, if we're together, you might draw the fingertips back towards the feet, palms face up, just rounding the whole torso over the thighs. Or you can come back to that wide knee variation where we started. In this child's pose, let the forehead ground onto something. And give yourself 4 or 5 good rounds of breath to check in. Syncing back up with your frequency. Maybe on these last couple of breaths, let the exhales be a count longer than the inhales. Encouraging the heart rate to slow down, bringing some cooling into the body. Let's call the fingertips forward. Inhale up to a tabletop, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press it up and back. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, tiptoe to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, let it go. Slight bend in the knees, tuck the chin to the chest. Slowly roll up, stacking bone by bone. A couple shoulder rolls once you land at the top. And find a focal point or just use something to steady your gaze. I'm going to move towards some balancing. So we'll bring the hands to the hips and find a one-legged mountain, reaching the right knee up to height. So find 90 degrees at hips, knee, and ankle, just like we did on our back. Press firmly through the big toe mound of the standing leg. Then bring the right hand to the top of the right side. Press one into the other. Feel that right hip flexor wake up. Good. Find a couple of breaths here, activating. Then we're going to draw the left hand to the outside of the right leg. So now we'll press the right knee into the left palm. So now it's side to side. Right hand can come to the sacrum as we rotate the chest open to the right, or you can reach the fingertips all the way back, finding a standing twist. Want to challenge yourself, draw the gaze back to the right fingertip. It's okay if you fall out of it. To come out of it, bring the right hand to the right hip, draw the gaze forward and left hand to the left hip. Keep the right knee up. Inhale here. Exhale, we'll find a figure four chair. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh, sit the hips back and draw the palms to heart center. Standing leg is probably talking to you. Give it a couple more breaths. Good. Inhale, drive through that standing leg, right knee up to hip height. Awesome. Drop lower down, shake it out. Release any triumphs or frustrations. Try not to set yourself up for one way or another going to the second side. And we'll find one-legged mountain on the left. So hands on the hips, draw the left knee up to hip height. 90 degrees at hip, knee, and ankle. You can ground the palm on top of the leg, activating that hip flexor. Firm down through the right big toe mound, lift that inner arch. Try not to let it collapse. Good. Now we'll guide the right hand to the outside of the left knee, press one into the other, and then left hand can come to the sacrum as we rotate the chest to the left, or reach the fingertips all the way back. Find a focal point, maybe gaze back towards the left fingertips. A lot of activity here. Magnetizing the inner thighs towards one another, the left knee is reaching towards the right hand. A lot of equal and opposite pulling that keeps us stable here. So to come out of it, left hand comes to left hip, rotate the chest forward, right hand to right hip, one-legged mountain. One more shape here, inhale. Exhale, standing figure four, across the left ankle, over the right thigh, sit the hips back, both feet stay flexed. Palms can come to heart center or reach out in front of you as a counterweight for the hips. Good, drive through that standing foot. Inhale, rise up, one-legged mountain, you got it. Exhale, lower down and shake it out. Awesome work. Inhale, tall mountain, reach tall. Exhale, baby back bend, open up the chest. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold, just let it go over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, low lunge on the right. We'll slide the left toes back. Widen out the base here. Inhale, high crescent lunge, piecing it all together. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Hinge the chest forward, reach the fingertips back. Good, freeze the body where it is. Just move through the arms. Inhale, crescent lunge with warrior three arms, lengthening out both sides of the waist down into the low back. And exhale, plant both hands on the inside of the right foot, coming to a lizard lunge. You might widen out the right foot a bit so the knee stays stacked over the ankle. Getting a bit deeper into the hips here. Back knee can stay up or it can lower down. You can drop to the forearms if you'd like, or find a middle ground with a prop. Reaching the forearms down to a pillow or a block. Most important here is to keep the right knee hugging in towards the right shoulder. So if it starts to splay out, just ease out of it. Imagining a sandbag across the lower back. Using the breath as a guide. Let's inhale to press back up onto palms. If we're not there yet, moving any props out of the way. We'll tuck the back toes under and lean the weight over to the right or to the left so you can slide the right toes back to a high plank. Put the hips up and back, downward dog. Staying on this right side here. Inhale, kick the right heel high. Exhale, bend the knee and open up the hip. Scorpion pose. Shoulders stay square, right heel reaches towards the left glute. Inhale, square it off, kick through the right heel. Exhale, half pigeon on the right. Right knee towards the right wrist crease. Left toes extend out behind you. You can support the hips with a block or a prop, or you can find the whole shape on your back in the supine figure 4, hugging the knees into the chest. So if we're upright here, take a couple moments to check in. Tense up high and the fingertips lengthen through the spine, just like a halfway lift. And then if it serves you, take a zigzag pattern on your way down, tuning in with some of the tightness that you might meet in your hips, eventually coming to forearms or dropping onto a prop, maybe extending the fingertips all the way out. And if you really want to piece it all together and find the thread the needle shape here, press into the right palm, cross the left fingertips underneath the right wrist, and lower down onto your left ear as you wrap the right hand around, reaching towards your right foot. So it's a super deep hip opener in that thread the needle variation. Again, take it or leave it. Landing where it serves you to land today. We don't usually realize how tight our hips are until we try to open them up in shapes like half pigeon. So lead it with some patience. And take about 3 more rounds of breath here to soften in. All right, we'll slowly start to press back up onto palms. If you're on your back, rock and roll through to a seat and come all the way through tabletop to downward dog. And if you're upright, step the right toes back to a downward dog. To bring some life back into this right side, circling through the hips and knees. We'll inhale to gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, and let's even it out. Exhale, slide the right toes back. Low lunge. Inhale, high crescent lunge, reach the fingertips tall. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Draw the pinkies together behind you. Freeze the bottom half. Inhale, crescent lunge with warrior 3 arms. Almost spin the palms to face the ceiling. So you're engaging the upper back, lengthening the sides of the waist. Take a breath in. Exhale, let it go, lizard lunge. Draw both hands to the inside of the left foot. Left knee continues to hug in towards the left shoulder. You can ground the back knee, maybe reach for the forearms, or find a middle ground with a prop. Wherever you go, the knee stays hugging in towards the left shoulder, protecting all our joints. And about 3 more rounds of breath here. Good. We'll press up onto palms, tuck the back toes, and we'll lean our way over to the right so we can step the left foot back to a high plank. Hike the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left heel high. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, scorpion pose, shoulders stay square, reach the heel towards the right glute. Inhale, square it off, kick through the left heel. Exhale, half pigeon on the left knee towards the left wrist. Right toes point out behind you. You can elevate the hips with a prop or take the whole shape on your back. If you're upright here, lengthen through the spine like a halfway lift and take that zigzag pattern down, maybe catching a couple snags along the way. If you want that thread the needle variation, right wrist reaches behind the left arm wraps around the lower back. Take what serves you. Give yourself a couple of breaths to settle into the side. Again, it might be different. And just as we would off of our mat, but rather than bringing any concern or judgment to that between two sides, try and celebrate that difference. Maybe that difference tells a story. Most of us don't write with both hands or drive with both feet. Lean into that, striving to learn more about that difference. And about 3 more breaths on this side, wherever you are. It will slowly try to back to palm. If you're on your back, rock and roll up to a seat. If you're upright here, just lean your weight over to the left. And we'll swing our right leg around, all meeting with our feet in front of us, fingertips behind us, and just windshield wiper positions from side to side. Good. We'll come to the center of our mat, extend the legs all the way out. It's okay if the knees have a slight bend here. Flex the toes up towards the face. Inhale, reach the fingertips up, just like tall mountain. Exhale, seated forward fold. Start with a flat back. And when you point, go ahead and round. And a slight bend in the knees takes some tension out of the hamstrings. It helps you stretch the lower back. And we have about 3 breaths here, and they can be active or passive. So if they're active, you can take halfway lifts and lower. And if you're taking them passively, just let the gravity do the work for you. Maybe you roll the chin into the chest, opening up the upper back, and seeing what shows up on each breath. Okay, we'll walk the hands up either side of the legs. Bring the bend back into the knees. And slowly lower down onto your back, using the core as brakes, reaching the fingertips out in front of you. Once you land at the bottom, hug the right knee into the chest, let the left leg go long. And hug the right knee up towards the right shoulder, take an inhale. Exhale, supine twist on the right. Guide the right leg up and over. Okay, if the knee doesn't lower all the way down, want to focus on keeping the shoulders grounded. So T or cactus out the right arm. Let each inhale bring in length to spine, and each exhale bring in depth to the twist. Good inhale, come back to center. Switch it out, left leg into the chest, right leg long. Inhale, hug the knee up towards the left shoulder. Exhale, twist on the left. Guide the left leg up and over. T or cactus out the left arm and focus on the shoulders rather than the left knee grounding. Breathe in for length and out for depth. Good. Inhale, guide the left knee back to center. Bring the right knee in to meet it. Then we'll find happy baby, widen the knees. Grab for the outsides of the feet or the backs of the thighs, whichever allows you to keep your tailbone grounded. And shine the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Let the head and shoulders stay grounded. Maybe find a sense of freedom here, keep one heel and then the other, or rocking from side to side. And when you're ready, finding your final Shavasana, either extending all the way out, taking up the space that you deserve, opening up here, letting the toes out wide. Or for a back saving option, you can come back to the fallen bridge where we started with the knees reaching in. So wherever you go, let go of holding on to anything in the body, including the breath. Let it return back to its natural rhythm. And I will guide us out of this shape when it's time. Slowly begin to invite the awareness back into the body, starting at the outermost points, the crown of the head, the fingertips, the toes. And let that awareness creep in towards your center. Gently deepening the breath. And we'll find that full body stretch right where we started. Lengthening out. And we'll cross the right ankle over the left side, or over the left ankle. Grab onto the right wrist and feet curve out to the left. Breathe into this right side. Finding a full circle here, closing out where we started. Inhale back through that full body stretch. And exhale to the left. Left ankle crosses over right, and we grab onto the left wrist. Good. Inhale back through that full body stretch. Exhale, draw the knees into the chest with ease, as little effort as possible. Rock from side to side. And we'll fall to the side, finding a fetal position, letting the head rest on the bottom arm, top arm drapes over the body. Rebirth from our mat into the rest of our day. How can we take that intuition with us and tuning into what we need? Let's press into that free hand, straighten out the top leg, make our way up to a comfortable seat, closing class with 3 breaths. Sitting up nice and tall, you can use a prop here if you'd like. Inhale, reach the hands around and up, palms meet overhead. Exhale, draw the base of the thumbs to the center of the forehead. gratitude to yourself for finding your mat this morning, moving with your breath and your intention. Next, inhale, hands around and up. Exhale, draw the base of the thumbs to the lips and send gratitude to those who joined you in community, who carved out space and time for themselves to move and breathe. And final breath, hands around and up. Exhale, draw the base of the thumbs to the heart, spread the fingertips wide and bow the forehead to the fingertips. From my heart to yours, friends, namaste. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me this morning. And I'll see you on Thursday. Look at that. Take care, everyone.